Here we go. Once again, welcome to everyone who is live. I was just explaining these calls are always super special, super special to me. It's the favorite time of the week for me to do these sort of calls, and today's a very interesting topic, and I can't wait to describe this and see what comes out of me, because I want to explain and give you a bit of depth on why we hold on to problems, why we hold on to challenges. If our mind thinks we need to get rid of our challenges, then why do we have them so often? And why do we hold on to the same patterns? This may be patterns around money. This may be patterns around failure and success, patterns in relationships, patterns to do with health. There are particular reasons why we hold on to problems, why we hold on to challenges. And what I'll be going through is a little bit of an extension on the 6 human needs. That's what Tony Robbins, the tool Tony Robbins uses. And I talked about this, I think it was last week. We discussed a bit about the 6 human needs, and I'll go over them as well. But this is an extension of that, and also diving in deep in terms of how you can apply it in your life and explain your particular behaviors, whether it be a behavior pattern or an emotional pattern. It's really cool to apply this stuff and to be in a space of awareness, because if you can know the underlying unconscious reasons why you're doing something, you can change it very quickly, and it can be very long lasting. And you can just start to apply it on a daily basis. Before we get started with that, let's just take time to breathe. So I don't know where you guys are right now. You might be out driving. You might be listening to this on your computer. You might be doing housework, whatever it may be. But if you just want to take some time to just get present, this will really help. It'll really help you dive in deep and get deeper level of insights when you actually breathe, when you're actually present, when you're actually paying attention to your body. So I'll give you the space to take some deep breaths. And while you take some deep breaths, imagine each breath going into your heart. And while each breath goes into your heart, you might want to feel it getting bigger, getting stronger. And notice your body. Notice the vibrations, the sensations. If you notice tension, if you notice relaxation, just be present in your body right now. Because what you'll notice is you can't breathe and focus on your body while worrying about the future or being stuck in the past. When you focus on your breath, you have to be breathing right here, right now, in this present moment. And while you're breathing deep, while you're breathing in your heart, just focus on that energy that's beating your heart. Just focus on this energy that's allowing your bodily organs to work in harmony, allowing your hair to grow, your fingernails to grow, cells to be replenished. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do any of it. Just some divine energy, divine timing, just looking after all of that for you. And the reason why that might be important right here, especially for this conversation, is because if there's an energy taking care of that, do you think there could also be an energy taking care of your challenges, your problem, your growth, your spiritual journey, your path of contribution? If there's something that's beating your heart 100,000 times a day, do you think there might be something else that's guiding you, that's leading you towards something bigger, that's causing you to grow, that's causing something bigger to emerge out of you? Do you feel that? If you breathe with it, can you be one with it? One thing you also might want to pay attention to is how this gift wasn't given to you because you did something to be worthy. Your heart is beating right now because it was a gift given to you at birth, the gift of life. You didn't do anything to earn it. You didn't win some race or get some accolade to make it happen. This was just given to you. It was a gift, right? The gift of life. So if you have the gift of life flowing through you, do you think who and what you are is bigger than any challenge? Do you think it's bigger than any problem? Do you think who and what you are is bigger than anything you can achieve? So while you're here, while you're breathing, while you're here in the present moment, you might want to remind yourself of that. Just remind yourself, even if it's very in a subtle manner, even if it's just creeps up every now and then, even if you can't feel it specifically, just remind yourself. Remind yourself of why you're here. Remind yourself of the gift of life. Remind yourself your heart's always beating. And just continue to breathe. Now, while you're doing this, maybe type in the chat, let us know what it is you're feeling now when you breathe in this way, when you remind yourself of this truth, when you start to focus your attention on this. What is it that you're feeling now? So David's having tears, Kelly's openness. Shout out to Sarah for jumping in. Kelly's agreeing, awesome. Kayla light as a feather. Laura's releasing some sadness. Kelly's feeling openness and love. Beautiful. David's bursting to get out, expand, grow. Hurts a bit. Awesome. Whatever comes up is meant to come up, right? It's just to feel that. So Michael's mentally tired. Jeremy's relaxed, releasing frustration. Italy, beautiful. No matter what comes up is meant to come up, right? No matter what comes up is meant to be felt. It's coming up so it can be felt. Whatever side of you is coming up right now, it's coming up so it can be loved, so it can be seen, so it can be heard, understood. So breathing with it, allowing it to be there. It's all happening in perfect harmony. You just need to be the channel that allows it to happen. It's only when we resist or avoid these emotions, when we push them down, where they grow unconsciously, right? So that's beautiful. And here's the thing. I want you to realize that you just shifted something within you, regardless of what was happening around you. Your external circumstances, I don't know where you are, but I can have a safe bet to say that your external circumstances were the same 5 minutes ago, but yet now you feel internally completely different. That shows you that your external circumstances do not control how you feel. Your external circumstances don't control how you feel. If that were true, not only would you feel the same that you did 5 minutes ago, because your external circumstances are the same, but if that was true, we would all have the same emotional response. We would all have the same emotional response to the same external event, the same external circumstances. We don't, right? Why is that? That's the question today. Question is, why do we have different feelings and why do we go to different emotions if the circumstances are the same? And that is because emotions don't come to us. We go to them. I was explaining this to Sarah the other day. This is something that I learned throughout all my coaching journey, is that people have this emotional home. We all have emotional patterns that we go to consistently. And why is that? Emotions don't come to us. We go to them. We go to them, consciously or unconsciously. We go to them because they help us meet certain needs. These are the 6 human needs that we have, that I described in last week. It was last week or the week before. But this is what we discussed. Especially the needs of safety and comfort, or what we call certainty, right? Uncertainty or variety is the second one. We can meet needs. Emotions can help us meet those needs. Needs of significance, right? To feel unique, special, important, and especially connection and love. Those are the needs of the personality: certainty, uncertainty, significance, and love connection. Tony Robbins goes through these. This is his model. But we basically go to emotions. We choose them unconsciously because they help us meet those certain needs. So here's something you can ask yourself from a place of presence, a place of love, a place of awareness, is what challenges do you have in your life? What is a pattern that you have in your life that you would describe as a problem? Whether it be in finances, in business, in vulnerability, in relationships, in health, whatever it may be. What is a challenge? What is a problem that is a pattern? I don't mean if you stump your toe on a coffee table and that's a problem. That's not a pattern, right? That was an accident. So it's not every problem, but every pattern. If you have a pattern that is consistently coming up in your life, one thing I can guarantee, if it's a pattern, it'll meet at least 3 needs. It'll be meeting at least 3 needs, and you'll be meeting them unconsciously. You won't be meeting them in high quality, fulfilling ways, but you'll be meeting them in some sort of way. So think about an emotional pattern that you go to. Think about an emotional home for you, right? Whether it be frustration, anger, doubt, guilt, worry, right? You could even think about emotional patterns that you go to in terms of love, in terms of joy, laughter, happiness. Whatever is a pattern, a recurring pattern in your life. So we got some people saying, so Brahm, repeat eating of gluten-based food. Yeah. Molding myself onto others. Finances, foolish spending. Yeah. Not good with money. Now have a look at all of this. Have a look at all these patterns, right? Have a look at all of it and start to really question. What is your emotional home? What are the emotions that are coming up consistently for you? And then ask yourself, which needs are you meeting? How does that emotion help you feel safe? How does that emotion help you feel comfort? How does that emotion make you feel in terms of a variety or a spice of life, or just something different, some stimuli, what we call uncertainty? Maybe holding on to a problem unconsciously helps you feel more significant, more unique, more special, more wanted, right? Maybe it helps you feel connection with yourself, with others, whatever it may be. Those are the 4 needs of the human personality. The 2 other needs are the needs of the spirit, right? In terms of growth and contribution. Now, for those in the group, I put a link to a 6 human needs personality test or an assessment. So those who are in the group might have seen it on the post. If not, I'll put it in the chat now. I think I have it pasted. Maybe I don't. But if you go into the last post in the group, I was able to do that. If anyone has the link to the post, maybe you can throw it in the chat. But this is a needs personality needs assessment, which shows you which needs you're valuing more, which needs you're valuing over the others. And that will give you a good indication on why you have certain patterns. And so I did it this morning, and it took me 25 minutes to go through. It's pretty in depth in terms of the questions, but it goes in depth in terms of understanding really which needs are you valuing, which needs do you value over the others, or what you call your driving needs. So you can identify what ones are you valuing, and then it gives you an assessment and allows you to interpret it. So if you value certainty, significance, uncertainty, love, connection, growth, contribution, if you value one or two of as your top, it'll give you an indication on where your goals are, what you can do next, what might be standing in your way, um, some personality assessments, all those different things. And it'll give you a really good understanding of why you go to certain patterns. And I'll give you an example from working with hundreds of people in the last couple of years. I can tell you a lot of people's patterns come because they serve the needs of either certainty or significance. Normally, it's a little bit of both, and normally that's what people value most in this world, especially in this Western world. We value certainty and significance above all else as an average. Me, I used to value certainty and significance, and that used to be my driving needs. Now I did the personality test this morning. I'll give you my results. So my number one need is growth, followed by contribution, and then love, which is what I live by. I studied this 5 years ago. I started studying this. And since then, I've really been conscious with which values which needs I'm valuing most, So check out the challenges, the problems that are consistently being in your life, and ask yourself why. Why is it that I'm attaching myself to this problem? Why am I going to this problem? Which unconscious needs am I meeting by being in this space of doubt or guilt or uncertainty or shame or whatever it may be? If you guys need help with this, feel free to type in the chat or type in the Q&A if you want to jump on and give me a particular example. But this explains all human behavior. And once you understand it, you can shift it very, very quickly. Let me drink my green tea. So that test is in the group. It's on the last post, I believe. But feel free to reach out and contact me if you need the link specifically. So here's an interesting piece. Here's another interesting take on this. If you have a particular problem, whether it be with finances, whether it be with business, whether it be with getting clients, whether it be in relationships, ask yourself this question: who are you without the problem? Who are you without the problem? If that problem wasn't there, who would you be? What would life be like? You might get two responses at the same time. If it's a problem that you've been holding on to for a long time, you may be consciously always thinking, oh, if only I didn't have that problem. But if I was to ask you, who would you be without the problem? A side of you might freak out. This is what happened for me. Because I was growing my business, I was getting some clients, and I just fell in love with my clients. And I was going through a period where I'm like, you know what? I think I might not take on more clients right now. And a side of me freaked out. For 5 years, my whole challenge in life was getting more clients. And then I consciously made the decision. I'm like, I don't think I want to take on many clients this next couple months. And I just want to go deep and do my own inner work. And I've fell in love with my clients I have at the moment. I love serving them. I think I might not take on more clients for the next couple months. And a side of me like flipped out, like, who the hell are you if you don't have that challenge of always keeping on going and striving and releasing content and getting people in your business? Because I was attached to that challenge, that problem, right? Because I was attached, my identity was towards the hard work and hustle. So who am I if I'm not hustling? Who am I if I'm not doing the hard work? Who am I if I'm not striving towards that goal? And my ego started freaking out. And so that's really in a place where I needed to look at the side of me that had that problem. Another way to explain this is, if you need to release a problem, you're going to have to, a part of you is going to have to die, basically. There's a side of you that's going to have to die. It needs to die with love, but it needs to move on. It needs to die in order for you to birth anew. In order for you to birth new patterns, your old patterns have to die. Now, that's very uncomfortable to the ego, which is why I would sit in silence and do my 2-hour meditations, and I would just have tears, right? Because I would have this sadness or this confusion, or just sitting for an hour and feeling lost and just feeling in a space of, who the hell am I? Just feeling this emptiness and just allowing it to be there. And that's really how you birth anew. That's how you develop new patterns. Is you notice this side of you coming up that says, I am attached to this pattern because I'm meeting my need for security or comfort or safety or even significance or connection. And then you have to hold the space and love the side of you that's coming up. Love the side of you that's coming up so they can fall away, so they can basically die with love, in order for you to birth who you really are, to come to the surface of who you really are. And this 6 human needs test and assessment is a really, really good indication of where you can start digging deep, where you can start questioning, right? Where you can start to be in a space of, what side of me do I need to love? If you're attached to a problem as a way of meeting a certain need, one way of transcending that is to love the side of you that's meeting that need. Love the side of you that's addicted to that need. A lot of you need to hold and love the side of you that's addicted to certainty, right? I did this when I left my job. When I left my job, I had to let go of all of the certainty I had around money, all of the certainty I had around a consistent paycheck, and just follow my heart full time, which is very, very uncertain, but very, very much aligned with growth, which is why I believe I did it. I'm now valuing growth and contribution above all else. And therefore, when I make the decisions that are in aligned with that, they're in aligned with growth, they're in aligned with contribution, right? I knew I couldn't contribute and grow at the levels I could if I was in a low vibration job, right? Not to say that that's the move for everyone. Everyone's in their perfect transition. Everyone's in perfect harmony. Trust me, if you're in a circumstance right now, you're meant to be there, right? You're going through your journey in perfect harmony and perfect timing. But it's up to you also to listen to what your heart's saying. And what your heart will lead you towards is love, growth, and contribution. They are the high quality needs. Love, growth, and contribution. They are the high quality needs that will allow you to meet the other needs of certainty, uncertainty, and significance in high quality ways, in very, very high quality ways. So this is something you can really pay attention to. What side of you do you need to love? What side of you do you need to love unconditionally? Whether it's a side of you that needs significance, whether it's a side of you that values certainty, whether it's a side of you that holds on to a particular problem for a reason, that's a side of you need to feel, side of you need to love, side of you need to transcend and let go. Right? So it's very, very key for all of this. So I'd love to know if any questions are coming up for you guys while we talk about this. Feel free to put it in the Q&A. I might be able to catch them in the chat as well. It seems like you guys are agreeing. Maybe type yes in the chat if this is helping, if this is resonating, if this is allowing you to go deeper. Awesome. You got Sarah, Michael, David, Illy, Kelly, Bram, Irina. Awesome. Beautiful. Laura's a bit different. She's giving a good old hell yes. Beautiful. So feel that. Go back to your breathing just now for a moment while I drink my green tea. Go back to your breathing. Go back to your heart. Just focus on your heart for a minute or so and just breathe deep. Imagine each breath going into your heart. And focus on this energy. Focus on the energy of life. And if you could, identify the side of you, feel that inner 5-year-old that's addicted to this challenge, that's addicted to this problem, that's addicted to this pattern of emotion, this pattern of behavior. In order for me to leave my job to do this full time, I had to love the side of me that was scared to go broke. I had to love the side of me that was addicted to certainty. And I just had to step into my truth that values growth, that values contribution, that values love. And the irony is now I feel more certain that my future is going to be fine. I started realizing that when I was in the low vibration job, it was a certainty. It was also an illusion. It was a false sense of security. It was a false sense of certainty. Right? It was the certainty that my ego wanted. It wasn't the certainty of the spirit. Now I feel certainty of the spirit where I'm just following my path, and my certainty comes from knowing that I will be fine no matter what happens. Knowing that I'm following the journey I'm meant to be on, right? Knowing that I'm on a path of growth, love, contribution. That's where I get my certainty now. Notice how that also meets my need for uncertainty. So who the hell knows what's going to happen? And here's one way Tony Robbins describes it's which really resonated with me, especially when I went to his in-person events. He says suffering and pain will occur when you believe that there's only a few ways to meet your needs. If you're in pain right now, if you're in suffering, it's because you have a particular belief that says there are limited ways that I can meet my needs. For example, a lot of people in business have a belief that says I need to make money and have a successful business in order to feel X, Y, and Z. In order to meet my needs for certainty or significance or growth, I need to have a significant business. But you will be absolutely free when you start living with the belief and the knowing that you can meet your needs in unlimited ways. Unlimited ways. Like what I just described. I can meet my need for certainty in many, many different ways. I can meet it but in an egoic, false way by being in a job that's low vibration but consistent paycheck. Or I can meet my need for certainty in a high quality way by holding the belief that no matter what happens, I'll be fine. Or no matter what happens, I'm guided. Or no matter what happens, I'm growing. No matter what happens, I'm channeling that growth so that I can serve at a higher level. That meets my need for certainty, right? I feel certain and safe, but I'm also growing. I'm just meeting my need of certainty in a very, very different way. Kayla's starting to get the idea. Awesome. If anyone has any questions, let me know. But even after this call, just breathe, right? Breathe with this. This is deep stuff. It'll keep coming up. What you'll find, if this resonates with you right now, what you'll find is it'll keep coming up. today, this week, it'll just be a consistent question in your head. What needs am I meeting? Where's my emotional home? Why am I doing this? How can I meet my needs in higher quality ways? It'll resonate with you at your heart, because this is leading you to who you really are. It really is. So that's all I wanted to discuss. I'm glad this is resonating. So just continue to breathe. Just breathe with me. If you can feel there is a life outside of your patterns where you're valuing love, you're valuing growth, you're valuing contribution above all else, that's where you start growing and achieving as a byproduct. That's when your business will skyrocket. That's when your relationships and your health will skyrocket, just as a byproduct of who you're being. Your vibration is just that much higher. So feel that. Laura's asking, are those written down on your paper? The questions, I don't have much written down on my paper. I went and did the assessment this morning, and I'll give you my results. So for certainty, I'm 40. For uncertainty, 75. Significance, 70. Love and connection, 120. For growth, it's 130. And for contribution, it's 125. They're my results. And you can do this really, really quickly. I just put it on a piece of paper, and just there's 84 different 84 different questions that you can just quickly go through. So I just went through all of them, and it gives you 3 options to type a yes or partially or no, what resonates with you. And then you tally them all up at the end in terms of the different needs, and then you get your results. And then it'll give you a really good indication, really, really good indication on how you can interpret the information that you get. So I'd love to, it'd be cool for you guys to suss that out if it resonates with you. So Illy, the questions are in the link that's in the post. I'll be able to do it for you. If you look at the last post in the group, there's one that identifies the 6 human needs, and I put the link in the comments. So you can check out that. It'll send you a Google Drive link to the questions, to how you score them, and then the interpretation of them. Oh, there you go. Kelly's just put it down there in the chat. Awesome. Thanks so much, Kelly. So that might be a wrap, guys. If you don't have any other questions, let me see here. So Laura meant the questions I ask myself daily. I don't have them written down, but it's just something that's ingrained in me now. Just to ask yourself some deep quality questions. You can even tap into your heart and ask yourself the question of, what question do I need to ask myself? And these are the questions I ask myself. It's like, where am I coming from? All right, what energy am I coming from? Why am I doing this? Am I operating from fear or freedom? All right, how can I meet my needs in better quality ways? All right, how can I follow my heart? What's my heart guiding me towards? How is this helping me grow so I have more to give? That's another indication. While you're feeling this inner 5-year-old that has particular patterns, recognize that this 5-year-old has something to teach you. Transcending this pattern has so much to teach you. And while you're learning that lesson, you now have more to give. You now have more to give. It's crazy to look at it like that, and your mind and your ego won't really make sense of it. But that's a truth. Every single Every single lesson you're learning right now is so that you have more to contribute. It's so you're growing, and that contribution will lead you to your heart's calling. Always. So I think that's a wrap, guys. Whether you're here live or on the replay, it's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing what comes up for you guys in this assessment. I'll be doing more on this. For those of you who are listening, it's the same day, same time each week. So feel free to get your phone out and put this in your calendar. Same day, same time each week. I'll be here, and I'll be delivering in-depth knowledge on these types of topics that not only allow you to build your business as a byproduct, but do it in a way that's aligned. Do it in a way that's that feels congruent and authentic with who you are. I'll be doing more around marketing. I know a lot of you loved the conversation and the episode I did around the Facebook and how I do my Facebook strategy. So I'll be looking to dive in deep in terms of that and how we can couple a lot of this stuff. Right? If you guys were to share in a post your authentic truth through this work, think of the relationships you can build. Right? That's the exciting part of coupling this inner work, your personal awakening, with your business. It's something that not a lot of people are doing, but trust me, it's the way of the future, and you can feel it when you look in. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for being here live. I'm glad you guys got a lot from it, and it's good to see you guys engaging. I'll see you guys in the group, and if you want to comment on the post with the link, let me know your results as well. If you want to share, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what comes up for you. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care now.